The wind carried the dust of the ranch plains across the horizon as a weary widow stood before the rancher, clutching her shawl close to her chest. Her face told a story of hardship, wrinkles from years of labor, eyes dimmed by sorrow, and hands roughened by endless toil. She wasn't young, nor was she beautiful by the standards of the world, but she had something more enduring, an unyielding will to survive for the sake of her children. The rancher, a man of solitude and hardened by years of working the land, looked at her silently. She had come with a request, not of pity, but of work. Her voice trembled, but her words were firm as she said, "I ain't pretty, sir, but I can cook. Work will feed my kids." It was not a plea born of weakness, but a declaration of strength. She was a woman who refused to let poverty steal away her dignity or her children's future. The rancher saw in her not just a widow, but a mother willing to give everything for her little ones. Life in the West was unforgiving. Many men worked themselves to the bone, and many women had no choice but to remarry or depend on charity to survive. But this woman was different. She wasn't asking for marriage or favors, only for a chance to earn her bread with honest labor. She knew her looks wouldn't open doors, so she offered what she knew best: her skill in the kitchen, her endurance, and her devotion to hard work. The ranch kitchen soon became her battlefield and her sanctuary. With the dawn, she rose before anyone else, stoking the fire, kneading the dough, and stirring pots of stew that filled the air with warmth and comfort. Her meals, though simple, carried a taste of love and resilience. The ranch hands, who once ate in silence, began to linger over their meals, their spirits lifted by her presence. The rancher noticed too. At first, he saw her only as a worker, but day by day, he began to see the quiet strength that radiated from her. She worked without complaint, even when her back ached or her hands blistered. She never sat to eat before others had their share, and she always saved the best scraps for her children, tucking them away with care. Her children, once thin and weak from hunger, began to grow healthier under her watch. Their laughter returned, echoing through the ranch house like music. The widow had managed to bring life where there had once been despair. The rancher began to admire her not for her appearance, but for her heart. She wasn't adorned with ribbons or lace, but with the quiet nobility of sacrifice. In her, he saw a partner not in beauty but in endurance, not in charm but in strength. She showed him that true worth was not in a face that pleased the eye, but in hands that worked tirelessly and a spirit that never yielded. Yet, the widow never thought of herself as special. To her, it was simply what a mother did: fight for her children with everything she had. She bore the weight of her struggles with humility, never expecting praise or reward. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the hills, the rancher approached her while she was clearing the dishes. His voice was quiet but filled with respect. "You've given more to this ranch than I could have ever asked," he said. "Not just meals, but hope." She lowered her eyes, unused to such words. "I only do what I must. My kids depend on me, sir." The rancher paused before replying, "And maybe, I've come to depend on you too." What started as an act of survival slowly bloomed into something deeper. The widow who once came asking for work now found a place where she and her children belonged. Her courage, honesty, and labor had built not only meals but bridges of trust and companionship. The lesson of her story echoes louder than any beauty could. She proved that worth is not measured in outward appearance but in the strength of one's character. She was not pretty in the way the world defined beauty, but she was beautiful in the way she faced her struggles, head on, without surrender. In the end, her words remained true. She wasn't pretty, but she could cook. And through that simple skill, she fed not just her children's stomachs but also the souls of those around her. She taught that in a world that often values appearance above all else, it is the quiet labor, the selfless sacrifice, and the determination to rise despite hardship that shines the brightest. Her story stands as a reminder that sometimes, the greatest heroes are not those who ride with guns or wear crowns, but the humble ones who, with calloused hands and unshakable hearts, keep their families alive and their dignity intact.